it. See, what makes curses to be very grievous and destructive is because the action is deliberate. It is a deliberate action. You premeditated it. You considered it very, very well. You look at it that this thing will be favorable. You undermine the standard. You undermine the rule, the law of God, which carries covenant. So, Adam says that, Eve said that God says we should not eat. But she ate because she considered it that it is good for the eyes to give wisdom, and she ate it. So after that, now, God now say, okay, where are you? The man began to run away. The serpent was the one that was cursed. But the man eating the fruit carries the power because God has released his spoken word which he cannot reverse. He said, you eat this, you will surely die. The word has been released. It cannot go null and void. Because Adam in particular, Adam and Eve were not cursed. It was the serpent that was cursed. In verse 14, it says, and that serpent was cursed. Eve was, God told Eve, your pain will be increased, will be, through pains, you will bear children. That was her own cause. And the woman was subjected under, but she was not actually cursed. Again, the other thing that was cursed was the land. God said, because for the sake of Adam, he listened to his wife. For that, the land is cursed. That the land will bear thorns and thistles. And in hard labor will he eat until the day he will die and go back to the dust. So these are the origin of curse. And that caused the condition because the environment that inhabits man, that hosts human being, have been already caused. He said, thorns and thistles shall the earth bear, and through the sweat of your face will you eat. You see it? So the condition of survival actually is what makes the curse. The serpent was cursed, the land was cursed. So that was the sources of curse. From there now, the man was living in a desperate condition, on a quest for survival. They now continue to bring human initiative, trying to take advantage of every opportunity, even when it is against the will of God. Men began to live against the will of God, instead of conditioning themselves under the will of God. The curse continued. Another person that was cursed was Cain. When the blood of his brother was speaking against him, he said, cursed be Cain, for he shed the blood of his brother. From there, curse continued to run. So we are discussing the topic in series called Foundation, and the other subtopics, Covenant. So out of the covenant is where we are now getting this topic, the curse. So curse comes as a result of a broken covenant. So when someone disobeys the rule of the covenant, all these things begin to happen. It can come from traditional belief. It can come as a spell. In the book of Numbers, chapter 22 from verse 11, a nation of Israel were coming out. But the king, Balak went and called Balaam to curse the people, to use a spell. Spell simply means the power, the spiritual power, that one who is higher in spiritual authority imposes on another that is inferior in spiritual powers, to bring misfortune, to bring death, to bring manipulation of destiny of the person, the lower power. That is a spell. He called Balaam to curse the people of God. There are great people coming out. I don't know whether you are coming out from poverty, you are coming out from sickness, but somebody say, no, if this man is allowed, he will become somebody. Let me now go into native doctor, go to the water powers, go to the occultic powers, to draw power to curse him and let him lose everything. But today, Jesus Christ is presenting a solution to you, if you will listen and come to Jesus. So, another thing we are going to look at is the effect of curse. In the book of Deuteronomy 29, curse can bring death, as I said, poverty, fear. Fear. You know, the spiritual power of fear. The greatest weapon of the enemy is fear. When one is under curse, he will be afraid of everything. He'll be afraid of doing business. He'll be afraid of going to marriage. He'll be afraid of traveling. Everything, he'll be bound by fear because fear is a torment. So, another thing is defeat. He will be defeated in his mind before he begins to try. All those things are not of God. So, the power of and the effect of cause is visible everywhere. Some people today, their place is like a desolate place. There is nothing to write home about. When they do business, they fail. They go, even they travel abroad, even where things are level, things will still be rough for them because the total apparatus of life are working against them. May God deliver people from the curse in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So another thing, the curse, when someone broken covenant, ancestral covenant, because in this covenant, it is a spiritual law, it's a universal thing in the spiritual realm, covenant. So when someone has a covenant, a family covenant with a particular idol, to offer certain sacrifices to those powers, invisible powers. So immediately that power, that sacrifice, they fail to do it, there is going to be a broken covenant. The next thing is curse. People will begin to die. People will begin to fail. Many things happen. In such a situation, whereby somebody has a covenant with evil powers, is there a solution? Yes. I'm going to tell you the solution to all those things. Blood covenant. Maybe you promise a girl, I'm going to marry you, you leak blood together. It's a very dangerous game because blood is life. Every sacrifice is sealed with blood. Why? Because blood is life. Blood is life. Bible says that life is in the blood, that Israel should not eat blood. Even Jesus Christ is the lamb of sacrifice. He came from above to use the blood, his blood, to offer eternal sacrifice for the redemption of man. So wherever blood is shed, that blood will continue to speak. So to silence the blood, it requires another higher power to be able to silence the blood. Some families where you are living today, maybe they kill somebody there by force and the blood is there speaking. The blood of Abel is still speaking today. So all those things, there are solutions in the new covenant. I want to, without taking time, I'm going to want to look at the how can